Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to PyroFalkon Streaming Sundays. Today is February 28th, 2016, and you should be watching this on hitbox.tv/PyroFalkonLPE. If instead you're watching it on YouTube, you should join us at that address every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find a link for it in the video description. As for the past few weeks, we are continuing Deathless, the City's Thirst, a choose-your-own-adventure game, basically, by Max Gladstone. You can find this game on Steam. A link for that is in the video description as well. So where we last left off last week, we visited our old friends, acquaintances from Chapter 1, and because Deathless, our home city, is having some serious water crises, but while we were visiting our acquaintances who might have been able to negotiate for the water, a golem that was disguised as a candle holder choked out Doc, one of our people who we thought he was kind of not a great friend. He was not really an enemy, but we at least respected him, and now he's dead. So, but our character, whose name is Ponticant Sexington Fartknocker, has decided to investigate who committed this murder. So as we head back to Deathless, we declare that we've dealt with monsters before, and we are going to get to the bottom of this. Hey, speaking of which, Chapter 7, The Bottom of Things. You return to Deathless as the sun sets. Water prices are up again, according to the DL Times Evening Edition. The dark expressions in the eyes of passengers and stevedores, wherever that is, milling in the train station tell the rest of the story. You flip up your coat collar against the dusty wind and stride out into the dark. You're tired. You're shaken. Last night was not restful, but you can't sleep yet. You have a mission. Doc's dead. Someone manipulated Verity into smuggling the golem that killed Doc. You're sure of that, and so is she. But that was a high-risk play. Someone powerful wanted Doc out of the way bad enough to subvert one of RKC's own, to use her as a weapon. Who? Why? What was at stake that you didn't see? The sun's setting by the time you hit the DL streets, but you can go a long time without sleep. Someone's done dark work in this city, in your city. You fought here a long time ago. You killed here. You might have to do it again. But those are the breaks. So we have 4 options to decide how the story goes, and as before I turn this to the viewers in Hitbox, please select one of those 4 options in the poll. The votes are in, and option 2 and option 3 tie. And as before, I will break ties. Let's do the Batman route. I know how to ask questions until I get an answer, so I do that. It's an odd business asking questions. You have to find the right questions to ask, and the right people to ask them. You start with your usual informants and work your way up the chain until you're told to meet a man his friends call Jimmy the Knife in a bar down the pier. Jimmy describes himself as a real estate agent, which is fair enough as things go. At least most of the estate he deals is real. Jimmy doesn't seem comfortable in your presence. That said, he doesn't seem nearly so uncomfortable as you'd like. I can't help you, he says. They'd kill me. I could kill you, you offer. It would help. If it would help. Not like this. He holds your gaze. Here's all I can say. Follow the property. Look behind the scenes. And think who could scare me this bad. You'll find what you're looking for. Or they'll find you. You stand and leave a coin to cover your half-finished drink. Jimmy, you're not that hard to scare. That was a whole lot of nothing. Dawn... Whoa! Fuck you, Max Gladstone. Dawn dawns as dawn does. Ah, never mind. That actually sounded pretty nice. You've spent the night searching. How the hells are you still on your feet? All of those options are pretty funny, but I will let the viewers decide which one to choose. The votes are in, and the viewers, naturally, pick the most interesting option. Coffee, cigarettes, fury, plus, if you talk to the right person, then Skittersill. There are these little files that sparkle and cut your throat like strawberries made of glass, but damn does it put a spring in your step. The truth's out there, if you can just find it. Any more bright ideas? Do we have any more bright ideas? Please vote in the poll. The votes are in, and we have a three-way tie between all three choices. Let's see. Ooh, I like this one. We'll look for Casper Jones. He's connected, and he owes us money for the Zacate River story. The Times offices turn out to be surprisingly helpful, at least when you tell them you've come to tip them off to a major story. They give you a tracing token, a tiny tin locket with a lock of hair inside, and you follow its tugs and sways to a Skittersill bar. You passed a robbery on your way here, two Skittersill toughs mugging a water cellar. They looked thirsty. So did he. And so does Jones. Jones is writing, or at least scratching notes on a pad, at a dirty table in the corner of the bar. Punta-Con Sexington! Well, what can I do for you? I want to talk, you say, about water, and why someone might be desperate for it. He laughs, outside of the usual reasons. What's going on now that's big? Big, you say. He frowns. The biggest thing I can think of, and if you were anyone else, mind, I wouldn't tell you before it went public, is that RKC's been quietly buying up a swath of land headed north through the mountains, through agents, under the table. Meanwhile, a group of, let's call them concerned citizens, has invested heavily in Fisherman's Vale. What's there other than desert? Nothing, he says. Yet. Thanks. Stay a while. Have a drink. Sorry, too much work. He toasts you as you turn away. Your loss. Sunset finds you wired and scared. Some of the pieces you have don't fit. Some fit all too well. Your mind's afire with land management and water panic and murder, with visions of profit and loss. You think you can blow the changes on this tale and fake the pieces for which you haven't found evidence yet. The only question is, who's the audience for your song? You could confront the conspiracy directly, try to talk its mistress down, or wring some hush funds out of her. Or you could spin the whole tale to the King in Red. Whether or not he knows what's happening in his city, you haven't found a trace of his handiwork on the deal. He could be a powerful ally. Or you could run away. That's a good option. So we have three options. What should we do? Please vote in the chat. I have a feeling this will be a fairly important choice, so think carefully before you make your selection. The poll is closed and there's a two-way tie between the first option and the second option, so the viewers definitely do not want us to run. If I was playing this on my own, I would probably call in the King in Red, because when I play games and when I roleplay, I always look for allies. I always want help, even if it's going to stab me in the back later. But for the sake of this channel and to do something different, we're just going to go confront the conspirator. You send a letter proposing you meet at your house after sunset. Then you go home to wait. The elevator rises slowly to your floor, and your footsteps sound heavy in the hall. You open the door, wondering if it's for the last time. You wait. You pour yourself a drink. The sun sets, and the stars emerge. Suddenly, you're not aware of how it happened or when. You have a guest. Alana Metzachol stands by your living room window, overlooking the city lights of Dresdiel Lex and the towering RKC office pyramid. She wears a white pantsuit with a burgundy vest and a thin matching tie, and holds an envelope. She smiles and seems sincere, which scares you all the more. Punta-Con Sexington, she says. To what do I owe the pleasure? How do we respond to her? Please vote in the poll. The votes are in, and option 2 wins. I know what you're doing, and I want it to stop. She turns her head to one side, like a tiger watching an idiot dangle a string in front of its face. You've quietly bought up land headed north, you say. With the water supply this low, you can convince the King in Red to seize water rights from the Centervale farmers for the good of the city. As soon as that happens, you can break ground on your pipeline. Is that all? Ostrakov and Bawamak have been buying barren land in Fisherman's Vale, expecting that when RKC finally sees Centervale's water, they could irrigate and sell, creating fertile country out of nothing. But you've let DL's water supply dwindle so low that when RKC seizes Centervale water, it'll go straight to reserves. Ostrakov doesn't get rich. Bawamak loses a shirt. You stop. How did I do? Quite well, she says with an appreciative nod. Though you missed a key point. Once I control the Centervale water, I have Ostrakov and his toady in the palm of my hand. Their useless desert will remain useless desert, unless I permit it to be otherwise. And so I can make them crawl to me, and I'll take my share of what they thought was theirs alone. It's a pleasant mental image. Wow, she's kinky. And the king in red? She raises an eyebrow. What about him? What's his place in all this? Our dear lord and master slakes the city's thirst and leaves his underlings to settle our differences among ourselves. He doesn't care who gets rich and who squirms, so long as the water flows. He knows everything, I have no doubt. And he's laughing. This is not quite going the way I expected. I also didn't expect it to be Metzichol. I fully expected it to be Ostrakov. Regardless, how should we respond to Alana this time? Please vote in the poll. The votes are in and option 2 wins. Somehow I thought this would involve a lot more screaming. That will come later, she says. You know what I mean, Ms. Metzichol. Why are we having this conversation? I want you to make an informed decision. What do you mean? Dresdiel Lex is a city of 4 million people already, and growing. We'll double in the next 10 years at least, and every one of those people thirsts. We killed the gods, and that gives us power. The city lights catch and play on the rainbow slick of her blood-stained hands. Don't grub after wealth, after a few million souls here or there. The trappings of wealth after which poor Damon scrapes... What? Who's Damon? Ostrakov? Anyway. The trappings of wealth after which poor Damon scrapes are a shadow of true power. Through RKC, we own the water. We chain the earth. We bind the waves. That's what I offer, if you help me. Ooh. Are we going to make a deal with the devil or whatever Metzichol is? Please vote in the poll. The poll is closed. And we have a two-way tie between option 1 and option 3, which are so polar opposite. Ah, God. Let's see, don't I have a coin on my desk somewhere? I think I should... Yep, okay, I'm going to flip for this one. So this is... The flip is between option 1 and option 3. Heads for it's a deal. Tails for telling her to go screw herself. It is heads. We're taking the deal. It is a deal. Brilliant, she says. The envelope floats to your hand and unseals. The paper within unfurls itself and presents a signature line to you. Sign. You prick your finger and scrape your name on the line in blood. You grimace as the promise carves itself on your soul. A pleasure doing business with you, she says. The paper folds itself once more into the envelope, which seals and slides into her pocket. Now, I have business elsewhere, kitten. We'll catch up later. And she leaves. You wait in your empty house, left alone with the rest of your life. Ugh. Chapter 8, Futures and Reflections. What do we do next? Well, that's kind of an easy question to get started. Please vote in the chat. The poll is closed and option 3 wins. We make contingency plans and prepare for betrayal. You ward your house. You build phylacteric trusts and contingency plans. You plant vital documents with partners and close friends and cavalcancy idol brokers in case something suspicious and final should happen to you. To your surprise as much as anyone's, none of it turns out to be necessary. Ominous. RKC treats you well, and you treat the concern well too. You make your meetings on time. They fit you with a comfortable benefits package. And you know that every day you're working for a good cause. Meanwhile, to the north, RKC pipe layers descend on Centervale and Calder Valley, draining them to desert. Most farmers knuckle under, but some fight back. Ooh, how do we handle the insurgents, I suppose you could say? Please vote in the poll. The poll is closed and option 3 wins. We're going to gather support for humanitarian relief. The water project will displace a lot of people. You try to soften the blow, gathering resources from around Dresdiel Lex, food and shelter, work placement. It's not enough. You help, of course, but no amount of help can replace the way of life that's been lost. You fancy the refugee kids look less hopeless than they would if you hadn't tried. Maybe you're not fooling yourself. Soon enough, the city's water crisis eases. Refugees flood south. Ex-farmers and dispossessed landsmen beg on sidewalks for shreds of soul, or pace outside construction sites looking for work. At least there is work, and plenty to go around. Deathless is expanding. Regardless, it's been too long since you last took a vacation. The Fangs are lovely this time of year, lush and blooming after storm season. It's long past time you did something for yourself. Do we invite a friend to come with us? Apparently, we only have two options here, probably based on our relationship values. The poll is running in the chat, but I'm going to look at our stats real quick. You can see from our relationship values, wow, those are very low numbers. I'm still surprised Mechichul is only at 36% after we snogged her, but whatever. It is what it is. So, anywho, fun in the sun, take a vacation. Yay, we're going on vacation. Please vote in the poll if we're taking Jones or going alone. The poll is closed, and once more we have a tie. So I'm gonna invite Jones. He's a good dude. You find him at a crime scene, notebook in hand, pestering wardens who won't tell him whether the sun's up. Mud stains the cuffs of his trousers. What, he says when you give him the pitch, and miss this mess? He waves around him, taking in the crime scene, or Deathless, or the world at large. I could go alone if you'd rather not. He cuts you off. Are you kidding me? I'd love to come. Thank you. Thank you, the Akamura. It's an expensive trip. As you book flights and rooms at the Cortland, the world grays out a little, each payment gouging a trench in your soul. But you have savings, and there's nothing wrong with using them to have a little fun. The bellhop recognizes Jones and salutes him. Jones tips his hat in return. Manny, how's it hanging? The same as always, Mr. Jones. They know you around here, you say, as Manny takes your bags and ushers you up to your room. I know how to have fun, and this place knows how to take care of a guy. Okay, we have 4 ways we can respond to him, and just a reminder for anyone who missed the first couple episodes or whatever, we fashioned our character to be bisexual, so given how this is going, we might be able to get in Jones's pants if that's how you guys want to vote, but I leave it to you as always. Please vote in the poll. The poll is closed, and we have a 2-way tie between So Do I and How About a Drink to Start the Day. Even if we go for a romantic option, I think How About a Drink to Start the Day sounds the best, because, hey, loosened up, right? There are drinks and dancing. You do laps in the pool with the swim-up bar. You don't get around to any real lounging by the ocean stuff until long into the second day, but when you do, it feels earned. I'm going to get a drink, Jones says. You want anything? Sure. Something with an umbrella. He leaves, and you lounge, eyes closed, on a chair designed and named specifically for that purpose. Ha ha ha. And a knife blade settles against your neck. Ah, God! You recognize the stand up. You recognize the voice. Jess. You stagger to your feet, unsteady, and turn. Jess stands before you, his blade out and ready. Its edge glows with a broken light. You've seen weapons like this before. They made them in the wars, for killing craftsfolk. They're dead, he says. You sucked the valleys dry. The coalition's broken, Doc's dead, and now it's your turn. Jess? You raise your hands and try to calm yourself. You don't want to kill me. If you did, you would have stabbed me with my back turned. Then fight me. His voice stays level and sharp. And you recognize that light in his eyes now. You've seen it before in the mirror. He wants to kill you, and he wants you to live, and he wants to die. He moves toward you, fast and slow all at once. Oh my God. Shit got real in a hurry. Please vote in the poll how we're going to handle this situation. The votes are in, and option 1 wins. We kill him. That was easy. You kill him. Your power falls upon Jess like a flood of shadow, and he dies. Okay? Sunlight returns slowly. You hear screams up and down the beach. You sink to your knees in the sand. Footsteps run up the sand behind you. It's Jones, returning, Ponticon Sexington, what the hell happened? You stare down at the body, and when you close your eyes, you're staring still. You try to frame an answer. What did just happen? What brought you here to this corpse on this beach? Why are we here? I guess this is a reflection of everything we have done so far in the story. Please vote in the chat. The votes are in and option 1 wins. Water brought us here. Well, what else is new? You open your eyes. Sunlight dances on the waves. And that's the end of the story. So, we took a deal. We destroyed an entire livelihood of people, even though we tried to soften the damage. And that was after saving a bunch of people nearby from getting flooded. Then we killed Jess, banged Alana Metzichel, and pretty much just were a selfish, douchey lawyer for the whole game. Yay! So that will do it for the stream. This was a short one for the YouTube cut, and apparently Max Gladstone is just upsetting everybody in the chat. Well, that's what happens. So, as fun as this was, we are... Oh yeah, we can see our final stats here. So we are very good at craft, and decent at cunning. It's like, we're still at 55% with Jess, or at least his corpse. Hey, Jones likes us a little bit more now. Yay! The Akamura just says Jones gets hot when we stab a man. So, that happened. So the story of Ponticon Sexington Fartknocker has come to a close. If you enjoyed this game, you should play it yourself because we will not be doing another run of it. You should play it yourself on Steam. A link for the game is in the video description. Check out Max Gladstone's other work. It's Choice of the Deathless. We did that game for a stream too. We also did Choice of Robots, which was from a different author, but same deal. We had audience participation. We're going to try to do more audience participation in the future. If there are any games, these kinds of games that you want to see us do, let us know in the comments or in the chat on Hitbox, and the Akamura and I will put them on our list, because doing these audience participation games are really fun. So, no, we are not dead. We're actually just enjoying our vacation on the beach after killing a man. Because, you know, what else would you do after killing a man? Be sympathetic to him? Nah. Thank you, the Akamura. I am not saying that on the microphone because I don't want to get that started again. So, that will do it for today's stream on the YouTube cut. I'm only partially sorry for the short length, but hey, if you want to watch more, including the pre-show and the after party, you should join us every Sunday on hitbox.tv/PyroFalkon LPE at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have pre-shows, we have after parties, we have lots of fun. Even when the... Yes, Ryu, that is exactly what the Akamura said. Scary that you guys know each other that well. Anyway, so if you are watching this on Hitbox, you should continue watching because I have a couple games planned for the after party, and apparently it's going to be a long one. But if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week for another stream.